Let's look at these floors one more time. This wood is very, very old. This built in here, I'm going to need to move it out of the way. And I just filled all the nail holes, and I've been sanding for a lot of days. And it just comes right up. Okay, today is sanding day. I got this living room and kitchen cleared out. So if you look around, you can see that. By the way, that is my earbud. I put a little piece of tape on it because when I put the headphones on, a lot of times it comes out. This really works great. Just a little tip that I think is awesome. So I'm gonna be sanding today. I got everything taped off. I got the bedrooms sealed on the bottom. Rags and stuff like pushed in there, down there in the crack. You know, kitchen, empty. Let's look at these floors one more time. Under here, I gotta build more. Put a couple of little pieces of flooring still, but I can do that later and just hand sand it. And here we go. I got everything covered up, even the chandeliers. This is the old floor. I'm doing the zigzag because otherwise you get, I believe they're called chatter marks. And if you just go straight, and plus, if you look here, this wood is very, very old and it's not flat. See that? That's 1/8 of an inch or more right there. The whole thing is like that. And so when you go at an angle, it just knocks it down. I need to get a hole punch. So I see a nail right here, and I gotta go and knock that down. So I've been working on this floor for about an hour, and this is with 36 grit sandpaper. You can still see a lot of this right here. The high ridges have been knocked off. I'm still working in this area to get some of these knocked down. It's a little easier when you're not too close to the wall in the middle. Once you get over here, you know, you're kind of like, it's a little more, it takes a little more time, but boy, what a difference, huh? Look at this, like, I mean, it's hard to tell, but I'll go from this angle here, maybe it'll help. All the way through. And then that is getting very nice and flat. You know, it's just old wood. It buckles, it cups, I don't know all the terms, but that it's just normal. So we're gonna keep going. So I've been working all day on the floor, cleaning up around the outsides a little bit right now. And I think it's time to start cleaning up so that I can wind down for the day and get back to it tomorrow. This built in here, I'm going to need to move it out of the way so I could get underneath here and sand and all that. Boy, this thing is heavy. I didn't realize how heavy it was because I built it. I probably put the frame up first before I put the doors. So I'm gonna have to remove all these doors because I was gonna try to move it like this. I have tape in the other side to hold it in place so it doesn't, the doors won't swing backwards, but it's just too heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take all the hinges out, which is fine because I need to paint it anyways. There's the frame. I just picked it up, moved it. It's much lighter now, obviously. All those doors are not there. This is really good old wood. This is solid old growth pine wood that I milled down. I need to take this hinge off, but I'm gonna end up painting it. I don't know what color yet. Probably the same as the ceiling, but we'll see. That's a great piece of work that I did. And then here's the other part that is the built-in shelf. So this thing fits a lot of food and items, and I'll probably just like prime and paint the back. I thought about getting some wood and nail it right to the back of this, so that's another option. So it's coming together though. Today I'm working on some of these built-ins. I'm going to paint them for the first time. I'm pretty excited. A little nervous to do it because I like the wood. Problem is everything is wood in the house, so we need to paint either the walls or some of this built-ins. This in here is the back part there, the lighter wood. That is like the skeleton or the part you don't see from the outside. This part here in the front is the main thing you see. When I built it, the edge of this is almost like exact with the edge of that, and I didn't like that. I wanted this to overlap a little bit. So what I did was I just ended up taking this whole thing apart here. As you can see, the back of this is freshly cut, and I cut a 1/4 inch off of this so that when I put this back on top of that, it'll be a little bit skinnier, and this will have a little bit of an overhang. So, and then I'm gonna go, and I'm sanding all this down right now. I'm going to prime it with oil-based primer. I'm gonna do the same with this, and then this is the front. This goes right over here, the face framing. So I'll sand that down, prime that too. And then the doors have already been primed. I did that a long time ago. The beadboard doors that I built. That's what I'm doing today, so a lot of work. I'm gonna hit the bottom first, and then I will do the sides and top later. After lots and lots of sanding, here is the kitchen, and I just filled all the nail holes and imperfections that basically are small. It's not, by no means am I trying to make this look perfect. I just don't want to have little holes and stuff where dirt can collect. So this is all had to be face nailed with a nail gun. So that is the kitchen, and I'm gonna go ahead and move my way out here, and I gotta move a lot of stuff that's in the way, and then I'm gonna go do the vacuum, and I'm gonna do the same out here. Okay, here we have the back of the built-ins, and what I did was I caulked the entire back of it, and then I put these boards on there that I bought to seal it up. So when you go around to the front, that's the back of it instead of that drywall back here. And then I'll just caulk everything real good, and I'm gonna paint it, prime and paint it, and everything in the insides. So it'll be great. Really sealed up. Yeah, that way it'll keep any type of little critters out. Hey, all right, today what I'm doing is prepping this floor. I'm gonna do a final sand on it. So it's coming together. This is what it looks like from a distance. And I've been sanding for a lot of days. So I'm using this old sander, and it's been a tank, and it's a beautiful thing to use. It's awesome. However, it leaves a lot of chatter marks, which are these right here. You can see these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over that by hand, and hopefully I can knock a lot of those out. They're not super deep. Those are 100 grit on there, and that's what it left. So I'm gonna go over this whole floor by hand. There's a lot more out here too. So hopefully I can get those out by hand. Now this is an old cottage, as you can tell, so it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go over it by hand. Hopefully I can get most of these out. You can see there's a line of them here. And whatever I can't is just gonna stay. It's all good. It's gonna be beautiful. All right, after a long day of sanding, everything is looking really nice. I didn't get all of those chatter marks out, but I got a lot of them out. So now I just did a good vacuum, and I'm gonna go over and wipe everything down with wet rags. We'll let that dry. I'm gonna fill in any big gaps that need caulk. It'll be ready, hopefully be ready tomorrow to do one light final sand, and then I can go for it and do the varnish, do the polyurethane. Down here, you can see the dark spots. That is epoxy. I filled in some of the gaps. These old 100-plus-year-old pine floors, you know, when they tore them out of the other house, they had a lot of little imperfections, and so I filled some of the deeper ones in. Now through here, you can see there's more. These I just taped off, and I filled them with dark caulk. This is my invention. I've never seen anyone do this, so I don't know if it's a good idea or not. But I just thought instead of filling it with wood filler that will end up probably breaking away, coming out when it shifts. My theory is that maybe a little bit of caulk will help. So I use dark caulk, and I put tape on both sides pretty close to the crack. So when I lift up the tape, I won't have to sand off all that caulk. So I'll give you a little example here, and it just comes right up, and that's all that's left, and I just sand that. I'll just sand this one. There it is. And just vacuum that out. I'll do another one. You can't even tell. I think it's an awesome strategy. So I'm going to continue doing all these.
Are you filming this?
I was, but I'm...
Beautiful job.
Yep.
Good job, Nate.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there's the first coat, all done. Now I kind of see why they call it an island, even though it's actually a peninsula. Doesn't look like it's floating in water because of the shine. Strong fumes up in here. It's the next day. This is all dry. It's just shiny because it's there's shiny points. I noticed that it's when the wood grains are, I don't really know what you would call it, but it's just certain wood grains that the stuff doesn't soak in as good. So that's all dry though. It looks awesome. So good. Look at it from back here. Man, beautiful. So we're gonna do 2 more coats today at least. I don't know if I'll do a 4th coat, but we're gonna definitely do 3. It's time to get to work. It was a rough night last night. I went to bed about 3:30 because I couldn't sleep because we couldn't have the AC running. Some of the things that you need to do when you're remodeling and you live in the house. You don't want to run the AC right away because it'll suck the fumes up and blow them into the other rooms. It's better to not have the fumes. So, but we're ready to get back to work. There is a high level of fume in here, but I just finished. I did a light sand. I did 2 coats, and then I did a light sand over everything with 220 grit sandpaper, hand sanding. And then I wiped it all down with mineral spirits, and that's dry now. And I'm gonna go through it now with a final coat. And it looks so good. Man, does this look, it is smooth. When you walk on the ground, it's so smooth. All right, that's my next step. And then I'm gonna be done with this floor. Wow. I had to come out here to see this floor. This is just dry enough to walk on with socks. It smells really bad, but oh, it looks way better than I would have ever imagined. Unbelievable. You know, a lot of it has to do with that that sander I rented at Home Depot, and it just buffed it out, and it's just, wow. I feel like the whole room looks better. The lighting looks better. Everything looks better just from that, just because the floor is so nice. I mean, it looks like silk, covered in silk. Beautiful imperfections throughout. Man, I could eat off this floor. Wow.